Okay, sorry about that. I got a call. It was from my son's school, but it was a recording. I could have not answered, but anyway. Mm, mm. Look what I did. That's the hardest color. Coffee? Okay, so now what was I saying? Okay, so all right, well anyway. So they helped me out with my children. I got my children back, and as time went on, I began to stand up to these different ACS workers, right? And one ACS worker, I can't remember how they got in there. Okay, I was in connected with them, and we had a meeting, and they always the meetings would get on my nerves because they would just come out of the blues telling us you got to come to the agency. So they would have us come, and I was so fed up because the kids was just set in their own ways and refused to help us, to refuse to help me. It was so much issues going on in the house, right? Now they're older kids, and you would think because they're older, I would have less trouble. But I had less trouble with them when they were small because I was able to tell them what I wanted, clean up my house. I would cook my food, they would eat the food, and then I would clean up, right? And I would assign chores to them, and it was getting to the point where they wasn't doing chores. So it was a whole lot of issues. It was a whole lot of issues with the house, etc. So one ACS worker came in after the fact of what was said, and she just started ragtagging me. She just started going off on me, like, what kind of mother is you? Why you walking around here like this? Why you doing this? Why you not doing this? And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I broke down. I said, listen, I said, first of all, you don't know. I mean, I didn't sound this sophisticated, right? I didn't sound that sophisticated. I was like crying and stuff like that. You don't know what's going on. And I began to explain the situation to her, and she had a soft heart, right? They brought a black person in, a woman of color. They brought her in, right? Because I was very harsh with my mouth, and I said what I had to say and didn't care how it made you feel because you ain't thinking about how I feel. So boom, whatever. So they brought somebody, I guess, in to challenge me, and she was about as hard as me. But that wasn't my intention, right? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought somebody was fighting. I think my child is out there, so I gotta always be listening to make sure nobody is beating up my children. So anyway, so I, I knew that was my daughter. She out there talking. So I went, right, let me see. So I was telling the lady what was going on. I was crying and stuff like that. And she had a soft heart. And just like I told you a little bit earlier in the other video, that my house would be furnished. So she went, ACS furnished my house. They bought me a living room set. It was pretty too. She asked me what I wanted. After I had broken down and told her how I felt and what was going on, she talked to the kids, right? Not that it made any difference, but she talked to the kids, and she was telling the kids that y'all got to help your mother. Y'all not realizing that it's stressing her out. And if she gets stressed out, then she can't take care of y'all. And we don't want to have a bad ACS case due to the fact of her becoming overwhelmed and she wound up hurting y'all, which I would never do that, I never really hurt my kids, never, based on how I felt, because I always knew, I always would take time outs. When I would get overwhelmed and feel myself going crazy, per se, based on how I'm feeling, I would send my kids in the room. That's why they are gamers today. Because I would send them in the room with their games and close the doors and tell them, don't y'all come out. Y'all stay in here. And because of my forcefulness and my authority, so it would be authoritative authoritative voice. They would listen. They would stay in that room. They wouldn't come out. So this lady, she went, I forgot her name, but she went and she asked me what type of furniture I wanted. And she